Hello, Taurus. It is time for your March 2025 reading. Actually, I want to go this way. We're going to start off first with an oracle or energy card. These are the arcana of astrology cards to see what your primary energy or theme here is in the month of March. And we have third house. Communication is key. That or short distance travel. So maybe you're going on a little girls' weekend or just a short trip somewhere. That could be your focus. I think communication about the trip, if that's what you're doing, is going to be really, really important here. There's some detail that you could overlook if you're not reading everything. That's going to be a key thing. So maybe you're trying to, for example, if you have dogs that you want to take with you and you found this really great Airbnb and you want that one, but you didn't read the fine print and they don't allow dogs. So pay attention to the fine print, read all of the rules and regulations to make sure they meet your needs before you sign up for it, before you put the money out. And then also too, maybe part of what you'll need to do is communicate that if somebody else is doing the planning so that they can find a place that would allow dogs or whatever it is that you need. Maybe you want to be on a beach and somebody else wants to be up on a mountain somewhere, so make sure you're communicating and so that everybody there's compromise if needed. Let's see what your tarot cards have. It's funny that the first card is the Chariot to go with travel. All right. So, these are cards that involve music in one way or another. I'm going for the box here. I should just have it out. The Rhythm and Soul Tarot. So that should give you the vibe. We have jazz, blues, roots, and rock. So I like them. They got a good vibe. Haha. All right. So our first card here, well, let's see. We have the Chariot, the Preacher, roots, blues, and blues. So roots are going to be an earth element. They're coins or pentacles, if you will. Blues are the same as cups, emotions, which makes sense with the blues, right? A lot of deep emotions expressed through the blues music. And then we start off with these two major arcana cards. So you're going on a journey, an emotional journey of some type. So the emotional communication or communication about how you're feeling about things is going to be key here. Try not to suppress that. Try to be clear about how you're feeling about things, especially maybe if it has to do with your partner or friendship of some type. It's time to make sure you're on the same page, or if you're not, to get clarity on what it is that each of you needs from an emotional standpoint. Okay, let's get into the individual cards. We're starting off here with the Chariot. This is a major arcana card. This is you're going on a trip. It's the vibe. Going for a cruise. Maybe that's what you got going on here in March. Whether that means going on a cruise with a car down the roads, down the streets in your town, or going on a literal cruise. Make sure you plan ahead, make sure you check everything, and make sure communication, again, is impeccable if possible. If there are doubts, questions, ask them. Ask them before you go. Back to the Chariot here. Apparently they're really pushing that travel thing, but the Chariot, this is going to be a decision point, essentially. You have a choice to make. You can go two different ways. It's up to you which way you go. And you need to make sure, in this case, that you are doing what you want. In spite of what anybody else think about the choice that you make, and not considering the feelings. I know it seems contrary, but you need to be the one who feels passionate about this decision. You're the one who needs to feel good about this decision when you make it. Otherwise, it's going to ruin the whole thing. So that's how you're going to know too which direction or which option you want to take. If this is about a vacation with a group of people, and the place that everybody has compromised on is a place that you really don't want to go, maybe you want to decide to go take your own little solitary vacation off on a quiet beach somewhere instead. That feels right to you. That feels good to you. Go ahead and do that. You don't have to follow the crowd. This is going to be about you and your experience and things that you want to do. So lead with your heart, lead with how you feel about the options ahead of you, and go with the one that just feels right for you. And once you make that decision, things are going to start going quickly. Things are going to start falling into place. Just be ready to move, ready to make that change as soon as you make the decision. And then we have the preacher. This is the equivalent of the Hierophant. This is somebody who can tell you how things should be. They can give you the rules. They can tell you what they expect from you, or whatever your company expects, or whatever it is. This is the person who knows how it works, and they can tell you all about it. Now, you could be the one doing the preaching, doing the teaching, telling people how it needs to be done, how they can get where they want to go. Or you could be the one learning about what all these rules and regulations are, about how it's supposed to be done, about the tradition behind it all. As the student, and even as a teacher, you can put your own twist on things and make it work for you, but you need to be mindful of what that tradition is, what the cultural expectations are, what the laws will apply, and may impact the choices you make, or that may, impact the choices you make. That seems right. So keep that in mind. There is somebody who has all the information. They are willing to share it. They are eager to share it. Listen, ask questions, get all the details from them so you know what to expect and what you need to have done by when, and so on and so forth. This may be slightly different from this trip or whatever this is here, but again, communication is going to be key. Ask all the questions. Take your time. Do not feel rushed. This person likes to talk about this subject. They are willing to share it, and they are willing to stay late to talk to you about it if you need that. And then we have the 7 of roots, the 7 of coins. So now you're going into this analysis phase and assessing everything. You have many different options, or you have many different things going on. So we're going to kind of stay in this vacation theme or trip theme that we have going on. Again, it is not necessarily a vacation, but it is a situation involving other people where communication especially is going to be key. It's just also likely that there's some sort of travel involved. So 7 of roots. This is assessing, okay, how am I progressing? How are things going? Do I need to make any changes? Let's say you're halfway through this trip and you realize that it's going to be raining there all week long. Do you want to continue heading to that same place? Do you want to cut your losses and stay home? Do you want to see if you can reschedule for another time? Do you want to see if you can get a different place in a different location where you know the weather's going to be perfect all week for what you want to do, even if it may cost you more and you may lose your deposit on the other place? Lots of different options available to you. Now, this could have to do with with looking at your garden. What grew well? What isn't growing well? What do we want to plant this year versus what we planted last year? Do we need to move the garden over, or do we need to move certain plants to shadier areas or sunnier areas? What did I absolutely not like out of my garden last year that I never want to grow again? And what do I want to add new this year? It's going through that process of analyzing a particular thing. Could be your career, could be your home, or something to do with your home. Could do with this mythical trip that we're on here. It could have to do with your finances and rearranging things there, adjusting your budget if needed. But there's an aspect here of that. And if you do need to make changes around any of that involve other people, again, communication is going to be very important. So everybody's on the same page. And then we have the blues, the 7 of blues. This again is all about options and choices. You have 2 7s in a row here. So once you've done that analysis, you're left with multiple choices, multiple options, different ways you could do things. different plants you could pick to plant in your garden that year or this coming year. Do you want to do vegetables, and maybe you want to do tomatoes or heirloom tomatoes or I forget, cherry tomatoes, or do you want to plant broccoli, or do you want to just have roses and daffodils and daisies? There's so many options there, right? You've decided you want to move things around and you still want to garden this year. Now what do you want to plant? That's what this blues is about. What are you feeling the most passionate about? Which of these options that you have get you the most excited? That's how you know which one to choose. Because they're all good options. Some of them are very practical. Some of them are intriguing, but they seem like a lot of work maybe. Others seem easy, but not as attractive as you would want. And others are like, oh, I've always wanted to do that. Then do that. Go for it. Maybe there's a particular type of rose you want, but it can be a challenge, but you're really hoping you can succeed, even though it's risky. So go for it, because that's the one you're most drawn to. That's what gets you the most excited. So when you're considering this list of options in front of you, you don't have to be practical about which one you choose. Choose the one that makes you smile the biggest. And then we have the 6 of blues. This is like sharing memories from the past, reminiscing about the past, passing traditions on to others. Maybe you're starting a new tradition with this trip, this mythical trip. Maybe you are starting a new tradition and gardening with somebody. Maybe, if this has to do with a garden now, maybe you're sitting down with your grandmother or your mother or somebody else, grandfather, who has always had a garden. Maybe they have certain cuttings that they want to pass off to you that have been in your family for generations to try in your garden this year. Maybe they have advice on how to choose where to go next on vacation, or what to do when you're faced with challenge or the weather is bad somewhere. Here's some different options. Or maybe they just want to share memories of vacations that went horribly bad when they were younger, but now have turned into fond memories. But it's spending time exchanging those memories and sharing those traditions, or even maybe creating some new ones. That's going to be the biggest touch point, if you will, for this month, that you may remember most about this month. It's going to be the most meaningful thing. With everything else going on, this is the whole point of everything that's going on, is to lead you to this moment in time that you may treasure for years to come. And that, Taurus, is what I have for you for the month of March. Please hit that like button. Please share this with others. Please comment below to let me know if this resonated with you or not, and because the YouTube algorithm likes that. And please subscribe to help me grow my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you later.